Hey everybody, this is Water Dogs Rich from Water Dog Scuba and Safety. What do I love about the Joe Padula show? You got a veteran like Joe going after his dreams and bringing so many people together from so many different walks of life here in Clarksville. Absolutely.
Yeah. Joe Padula Show, absolutely. My name is Joe Padula, host, former combat correspondent, soldier with the 2nd Brigade Combat Team, 101st Airborne, Ayers Hall. And now, I get to use my combat correspondent skills as I blunder over words. Right here in Clarksville, Tennessee. Normal show is a bunch of national coverage, bringing in the guests, live music, debates, games, the whole bit. But today, my friends, just got one focus. The schools. What the hell's going on with the schools? I need some information. I know you need some information. And who better to provide it than the president of the Clarksville Montgomery County Education Association, ladies and gentlemen. I introduce you to Constance Brown. How are you, Constance?
Hey, Joe, how are you?
Well, you look great.
Thank you, thank you.
Look at you. I love the red glasses, by the way.
Red for public ed.
The red for public ed. There you go. And hey, type in your comments, all right? Hopefully I fixed the whole comment thing where you're supposed to type in the comments and it pops up on the screen. But, I don't know. We have no intern Shane today, so.
Oh no.
Yeah, I know. So I got a bunch of questions. Nothing too deep. We're not going to take all day. We're going to get right down to it. But I need your help. We need to help spread some information on what's going on with the schools in our area. So start sharing this on your timelines. Okay? Click that share button. And click those hearts. Boom, 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 boom. Click the hearts. Yeah. We're definitely going to party with a purpose today with Constance Brown. All right, Constance Brown. First of all, the Clarksville Montgomery County Education Association. What is it?
Well, we are the oldest and largest education advocacy organization in Clarksville. We represent educators in the Clarksville Montgomery County school system, the members, for the promotion of things that are relevant to making public education the best for its educators and its students.
Okay. All right. How long you been involved? How long you been president now for?
I'm entering my 3rd year. I was the treasurer for 16 years prior to that, so quite a while.
Yeah, I tell you what, the Treasury, that's dealing with a lot of money right there in the Montgomery County Clarksville school systems, right? You're also a teacher.
I am.
Yeah. What do you teach and where?
Well, I am currently, my current position is at Early Technical College at TCAT. I have shifted more in a role of a facilitator because my students take all their classes with me.
Okay.
They take them online with certified teachers, and they are there for half a day with me, and then they go half a day to TCAT, so they can get certifications in diesel mechanics, HVAC, industrial maintenance, mechatronics,
real world jobs.
Real world jobs. So they are truly career ready when they leave high school.
Oh, that's pretty interesting.
So I will be starting my 2nd year. This is one of the best things I think our system has done so far as promoting what I call vocational education.
Yeah.
And I do believe that it's going to get really, really big because we need that workforce, that trained workforce in our communities to make them thrive. And everybody needs a plumber, everybody needs HVAC, their cars worked on, and I do need somebody to count the right pills when I go and get a prescription filled.
You're damn right.
Yeah.
You're damn right. All right. First question, real question. Are schools going to be open for the students?
Well, that's a $20,000 question, and it changes daily. I know that a lot of systems have decided to go ahead and go virtually.
Okay.
Montgomery County is looking at several matrices. The one that I am sent every day, the data for the last 6 days has been above the benchmark of where the school system would actually consider opening remotely. So we
Remotely, as in the actual physical doors being open.
the
Students-
physical doors would be open. Teachers would report so they can use the equipment and things they have in their classroom to deliver messages. Deliver lessons.
Right.
However, all students would be virtual learning. They would be at home.
So there is no chance or there's slim chance currently for the students to be going into the schools.
Well, the system has not made the decision. The system has with right now. Students will be returning August the 31st. Like I said, the matrices that I look at are above the threshold. That I know one of them is what the system looks at. They look at several things, and I don't have access to all of them. But we have right now students should be returning August the 31st.
Okay. All right. Which is cool. It's right around the corner.
It is.
Yeah, I mean, I can't believe it's already mid-August.
I know.
Now, do teachers have a say deciding when students and schools go back?
On that level of decision, no. That is up to our director of schools, Mr. House, and he relies on his senior leadership team to make those decisions. And they've been working very closely with Joey Smith, who is the head of the
Public health,
the public health department
right.
here in Montgomery County.
What up, Joey?
Yeah.
We're Facebook friends.
Yeah, oh, I love Joey.
Joey, we got to get you on the show.
He should be on the show.
You know what I love about him? He kept Joey. Because I was Joey for years growing up, and
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't want to be Joey. I want to be Joe.
You want to be
But he
Joe.
owned it.
He did. He has owned it. Yeah.
What's up, Joey?
He is awesome. We worked together very closely when I was the lead teacher at the Health Science Academy at Northwest.
Okay.
We did a lot of work together. He's an awesome man, and I'm very, very fond of him. And he would make a good guest on your show.
Absolutely. What a personality
Yes,
on top of it.
what a personality. So far as those level of decisions, teachers have not been involved. That is not something that is just to this county. It's across the state.
That's like a Tennessee.
I think it's across the country. The senior leadership
Yeah.
makes the opening and closing decisions. We have
But has leadership reached out to you guys for advice?
I
or,
have a
or
weekly
feedback?
meeting with Mr. House and Dr. Imperatrice, the chief academic officer for the county, and I provide them. We've had so many member meetings over the summer and done surveys and gotten feedback, and I compile it and I send it to them. And I do think that they take it under advisement. I've seen in some of the procedures and things when students do come back, they've taken some of the things that were mentioned in our survey that teachers actually recommended. We have submitted a resolution to Mr. House about using science to delay, to just make the decision on whether you were going to open schools or not. And he did present it to the school board in the last school board meeting and showed it. He included it with his message to all CMCSS employees, and it was published in Clarksville Now with his message, and on their on the CMCSS Facebook page. So they are listening. They're in a pickle. Everybody right now is in a pickle so far as what decisions to make. You're not going to make everyone happy regardless of the decision that you make.
I hear in your Zoom meetings, though, and I got to compliment you on this, in all of these Zoom meetings that have been going on, you've been the only one wearing pants, okay? So congratulations.
My mama taught me right.
I love it, Constance. Now, okay, as for like teachers, nurses, custodial staff, all right, have they received the proper PPE that
I'm
the
not
state
sure.
promised?
I've not received anything from the state.
Okay.
I have seen posted on Facebook some teachers.
Because I read news articles where the state was going to at least get something
The
down to the...
state said that they would provide all teachers with PPE for shields for teachers that requested them, a sanitation kit and supplies for a year. I know I have seen, like I said, I've seen some pictures of what they're calling the sock PPE on Facebook, so I think some have. I don't know whether they're being delivered to schools or not. I am a faculty of 2 out at Early Technical College, so We haven't received ours yet, but we're in a unique situation
Understood, yeah.
out there.
All right.
So
Now, as for the teachers that you represent, have they requested any special accommodations? Any certain?
there are quite a few. I don't know the exact number. Mr. Tharp was I didn't send him an email today, and I know he was playing catch up anyway because he was out, had to be out yesterday. But a lot of teachers are, according to our data, extrapolating it out and taking in the error. And CDC guidelines so far as what is high risk or moderate risk
Okay.
for COVID, there should be in certified staff alone anywhere from 800 to 1,200 teachers that would be at high risk or at moderate risk. So that's quite a bit. Teachers do qualify for 504 accommodations and accommodations in general, like students would. If they have health problems, it's getting the documentation. You know, it's a federal law, so it's very important when teachers make these requests. And if you haven't, if you're an educator and you have not, and you don't know what the criteria, just Google what CDC guidelines are for high risk or moderate risk for COVID-19. And if you fall into any of these categories, there's zero, you're losing nothing for requesting the questionnaire from the county. It lets the county know that we've got one more person, that may fall into these categories, and that helps them. They need to know too.
Okay.
And then get with your medical professional. Just because you say you've got something, it's got to be documented, and they need documentation from your doctor, your physician. So, and think about accommodations that would work for you. If you are a member, call me, email me. And Maria Uffelman and I, our UniServe coordinator, will help you prepare that with wording and stuff, but you're still going to need your physician's statement as to why these accommodations are needed.
Do you know if teachers have been actively getting tested for COVID, or they've been doing any type of waiting in the lines?
I know that some have. TEA has come out and strongly urged.
The Tennessee Education Association.
The Tennessee Education Association has strongly urged educators before they go back to get tested. So if anything comes back, if it's, of course we want it negative, but we need to know if you actually contracted COVID while you were at the workplace or not. When you walk, it's an uncomfortable test. I realize that. However, turnaround time has gotten where it's very quick. A couple of days. I think you can get a quick test, 24, 48 hours.
Right.
But TEA is definitely encouraging that. It's something to protect you. Because if you don't do it and you come down with COVID, there's no recourse on that. TEA and legal and our school system and all school systems actually do disagree about whether this is a on-the-job injury or some type of workman's comp.
Interesting.
And the reason
Didn't even think about that.
Is people do get sick at work all the time. I mean, and I do get that. However, we are in a very unique situation. We've got something that does not have a vaccine. There's no fix for this, except for waiting. And some will wait it out. Some will get sicker than others, like with other pandemics that we have had throughout history.
Different immunities, the whole bit,
right.
Of course.
And so TEA Legal's position is that if you can prove that you contracted COVID while you were at work, then it is a workman's comp type of case. That's going to take, it's going to take some legal fighting to do that. School systems, including ours, do not feel that way. And I understand why, why they wouldn't. The real problem here is the use of your sick days, my sick days. If you come in close contact, if I'm working with you and I'm within 6 feet of you and have been within 6 feet of you for 10 minutes, I believe, and you come down with COVID symptoms, not only are you going to be sent home, I'm going to be sent home too.
Interesting.
And that's for 14 days. There's something else that has come out that adds an additional 10 days to that. I read yesterday, but I haven't read thoroughly enough to.
Even if the other person doesn't come down with symptoms.
Right. And even if I take a test and
And
I'm
you're
negative, and this is the Tennessee Department of Health
right.
guidelines. This
Right.
is not
It's
CMC.
the state level, right.
That's right.
Mhm.
So
Interesting.
there is the
That's
federal.
a little demanding.
It's very demanding, and there's Federal CARES Act for family leave that you can take that will pay for 100% of your salary for the first 14 days, and then I think 70 or 80% of your salary for up to 6 weeks after that, I believe. But it's a short period of time when you think about the big span of things. But there are questions that arise with that. What's the turnaround? How long am I going to have to go without my pay to get that check for my pay, through that act? It's been around, that those monies were released months ago.
Like during these quarantine days, does that count as their sick days?
Yes, if they're going to have to start taking their sick
So
days.
it takes away their sick days.
Exactly. And if your child.
How many sick days do they?
Well, we get 10 sick days a year, and there are a lot
well,
of
if you're
teachers,
on quarantine, you're in the negative already.
That's right. If there are some teachers that have years of sick leave, they do not take off work.
It builds up.
Your sick leave, yes, or you can roll over the 3 personal days.
Remember
But
rollover
they're
minutes on the cell phones?
I do.
Oh my God.
The thing about it is they're saving all this so they can retire early.
Right.
You
We did the same thing in the Army.
Yeah. So now this is going to be eaten up, and again, this is not the school. This is not the school system. This is the state.
Understood.
Needs to come up with ways to keep teachers from being able to do that. I never have any days. I usually end up taking care of family members and things like that, and I've never been able to stockpile much. I've got a little bit right now, so I'd run out very quickly.
I'm gonna some of the comments checking in, and thanks for checking in on the comment section. I'm sorry they're not popping up on the screen like they're supposed to, but I'll get intern Shane on that tomorrow. but yeah, don't forget to share this on your timeline. If you do got comments, I will go to them. Okay, let's see. Melissa Marquez says I'm nervous about virtual. She also says, "Hey, okay,
hey, Melissa."
Yes, and we're gonna cover the virtual in just a moment of what that all entails. All right, and let's see. How about Joey Smith is good people, very
yes.
Confirmation. All right, and Mickey Grubbs. Nope, we have not received all of the PPE. Okay. So confirmation.
She's in a building. Mickey would know.
Okay, yes. Yeah, Mickey. What's up, Mickey? How are you? All right. Ashley Martin. Yes, your student's case manager should be reaching out to you in the next week. Okay, that is Ashley Martin, and then also Brenda Mendez says, "Hey, how you doing?"
Hey, Brenda, how are you?
So okay. Now for a couple more questions, so 3 more weeks until the 31st, which is the date, okay, of the teaching begins. But teachers are currently required to be at the schools right now.
That's right, yeah.
What are they doing during these 3 weeks?
Well, we have engaged during the summer usually, and that's when teachers get in most of their professional development hours that are above and beyond what the school provides every year that the state requires us to have. And it's 18 hours in Montgomery County. So we got that moved to where we had Engage Week last week. So teachers had they had some required things they needed to do, but then there was other professional development that they could do. This week, I believe they're working in rooms. A lot of them are working in their own rooms and waiting for the platforms to come open that we're going to use to do if we have to go remotely, and getting Power School up so they can see what their schedules are. I know that they are working on those, and they should be open tomorrow or Thursday. So not as rigorous a week this week. However, I do think it's better to be in your classroom today than sitting in your classroom in June.
Right.
And that's why they made the decision
Of the teachers going into the
of
schools.
the teachers of going now and using our stockpile days to do that.
How have they been taking all of this, teachers? What have they been saying to you?
Well, it's a mix. It's a mixed bag.
Yeah.
That's why this is a no-win situation. If you look statewide, TEA members are pretty much torn between let's go back. Let's just go back and do it. And no, look at the science. This is something we don't have a cure for. Let's delay the start and go remotely. In Clarksville, it's a little more black and white. Most of the people who have communicated with me do want a remote start based on the science and the data about this county that's out there now. But you still have a pretty large faction of educators that are ready to go back
I bet.
now.
I bet.
Now. And we all want to go back.
Right.
Everybody wants to go back. If you're an educator.
Well, if the numbers keep going in our favor, like currently the population of Montgomery County, 210 to 216,000.
Yeah.
And with the current cases, over 1,100, it is 0.0043 of the population. So I can understand why people are just like, listen, let's go back to school.
Well, what the Tennessee Department of Health did today, and I don't know which category the 0.433 is coming from, but what was published today for the percent of COVID cases in Montgomery County in the community was 0.514. So that the 0.5 is a real big number according to all of the medical experts. So we have been above that number.
Below 1% is.
Yeah, it's
Still okay.
What I got from a webinar a couple of weeks ago at 0.5, at 0.5% in the next year, I believe I'm remembering this correctly. It may, if you get all the way up to 1, and in that category we are at 1, 20 to 50% of the population in Clarksville will have
But I
COVID,
believe the what they were using was the old census of what's it called, 2016, and we have definitely grown since then.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, the virtual. You brought up the virtual education. How does this work? What do they get? What do you guys get? What do the students get? What are the hours?
Well, the students get an education like to me. There's nothing like being in front of a teacher, live, live and in person. To me, that is the overall for students the very best way to learn and interacting. However, Montgomery County has worked very, very hard on putting together a virtual platform. Students are assigned to their classes like they would if they were in school. They will have certified teachers that will be delivering these lessons. They are working now on, I know several teachers that have virtual classes, and they're working on the curriculum to push out. They will be having Zooms with them a couple of times a week. They kind of have office hours to, if students have questions and a Blackboard, that Blackboard type of messaging. I know with PLP, which is the platform that we're using, you can message a teacher directly. I've been using it for a year now, and it's really good to communicate with students. So, there's going to be trial and error. Nothing that we start right now.
Especially in some areas with spotty internet connection.
Well,
and stuff.
We've got hubs. They have worked really hard on getting those out, but I do think there are going to be issues even with hubs, because if you're too far out,
deep in the county,
right? I think they're still going to be spotty. So it's like buying a brand new model of a car. Never buy the brand new model of the car. Wait till the second or third year because the factory has worked all the bugs out. So if you have opted as a parent, if you've opted this for your children, please understand this is a work in progress. In
How
March,
how many opted in, parent-wise? Do you know?
40%.
Okay, so 40%.
40%
of the parents
uh-huh,
said that with the virtual.
of our student population. So
right, up
you
there,
know, is going to go virtual, regardless of whether we open in-person learning on August the 31st or not.
Have parents or anyone been talking about just going to a homeschool format for them, for their
Well,
students?
this is the thing. I think some have. This is like a homeschool, but we're much better equipped. A school system is much better equipped to educate your child than a homeschool network, and that's why we the school system developed this idea. When the numbers did not go down, you know, in March, we would have never thunk this in a million years.
Right.
You know, that we would be in this position right now. I think most people were thinking November. We were thinking in November when, you know, things start rising again with flu and that kind of stuff. Nobody expected us to be here. But the problem is that we're working on something that we didn't have a year or more to plan.
Right.
So I do think the Clarksville Montgomery County school system is much better equipped to educate anyone's child in this county than going to a homeschool network or anything like that. We do have the experience, we've got the expertise, but we are building the plane while we're flying it out of necessity, not out of, oh, this is what we just decided to do because we decided to do it. You know.
What about the teachers with their virtual education? Have they adapted? What do they think of it?
Well, it's new for them too.
I bet.
You know, we did not.
Because you know they didn't learn this in college.
No, there's a lot of change going on right now.
Yeah.
When the system first started with the survey, we were expecting numbers like 15 to 18% of the student population to opt to go virtual. That
But now you're dealing with 40.
Now we're dealing with 40. And so the best laid plans, we started a virtual school. We have a virtual school.
So there's going to be certain
principal.
teachers
Yes,
that is just
and,
focused.
and it was going to be certain teachers, but it has got with some things like foreign language or specialized, you know, having to come in, pull them in to teach a section of that. It's gotten so big that in high school, I think there is a very large percentage of teachers that are either teaching layered courses, which means you've got an in-person class and a virtual class at the same time. We've got some teachers that are not quote-unquote dedicated virtual teachers, but they do have sections of virtual that are 100%, you know, a virtual class. It is, I think the system is doing the best it can to adapt to what is flying at them and what they need to do to help the students in this county at all levels, in person or virtually. And then what is the state telling them to do? What's the federal government threatening to do if you don't do this, that, and the other? So it's not a pretty picture, you know, and it's not a pretty place to be if
How
you've
does a
got to make
teacher?
decisions.
How does a teacher send a student to detention now? Do they go to their room? I don't know. Listen, I was a bad kid. I got sent to detention. I want to know how I would go to detention now.
Break the rules.
I'm acting up in Zoom. What happens?
Well,
You know,
yeah.
it's
something
so
that's
many
yeah,
situations,
right?
that we won't know until it happens.
Yeah, right.
Until-
That's exactly right.
Until
yeah.
you get Joey Padula on the Zoom,
Uh-huh.
right? Throwing spitballs at the camera.
right.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I mean, okay, a typical day. Okay, August 31st. Boom. Okay, let's go. It's a middle of September, a common day. What does it look like in your eyes?
Well, we've gone through the system is going to a block schedule. It's it's not a traditional 4x4 block. There will be a 4-block, like first through fourth period on Monday, and then 5th through 7th with what we call a skinny period, but it will end up being a block for interventions, students who our special needs population that needs reinforcements, ACT prep, to help get our students to the levels where they can qualify to go to the schools that a lot of them want to go to. So it's 4 academic classes one day and 3 academic classes with a block that is going to be an intervention period, is the way that I understand it.
Okay.
That's not my schedule at ETC. We do it differently, but as I understand it, that's how it's going to go.
Now they got like the kids when they're in the schools, when they're in the classrooms. Okay, what are they wearing? What are they supposed to be wearing?
Well, they are supposed to wear a mask, a cloth mask, and we will provide them for them. Our system has bought an awful lot of them. We don't have to wait on the state.
Okay.
To
Clarksville, Montgomery.
Clarksville, Montgomery. Yeah, they're pretty good about that. When they are in the commons area, they're supposed to have a mask on. Period. If they're in a classroom and social distancing cannot be maintained, which in actuality that's probably going to be most all classrooms, then they should be wearing.
What about
mask.
lunch?
Lunch, I believe they want you to,
take the bite.
Yeah, take the bite.
Gym class, anything? Has that been brought up yet?
I've not heard anything about physical education. However, I think it's going to be very difficult. I worry about students with asthma. Yeah.
For the gym teachers.
It is. It would be. It's going to be difficult.
Right.
But they've got better lungs. They've got better lungs than I've got.
But you bring up a good point about the children with asthma, and the blocking of the air passage.
And wearing masks is when they're trying to do physical activity.
Right.
And we do have an awful lot of students. Some work that Joey and I did actually together about 7 years ago.
That's got to be tough to enforce.
40%.
Especially when kids are like running off to the corner, and they want to take off the mask. It's going to be an interesting situation. Yeah.
Well, yeah. It's starting out as and rightly so. Joe, you know what the rules are.
Yeah.
Put your mask on.
That's right.
And it can escalate quite quickly. We do have a new student code of conduct, so that's going to be another interesting layer on how we're going to implement new rules with this new situation that we've got. And everybody's going to do their best to make things work. But students, I believe, can be sent home if they continuously refuse to put their masks on. And this is me personally. This is not Clark. Me as the president. I do worry because I do know we have teachers who believe their rights are being violated by telling them they have to wear a mask.
Right. I understand that.
There's a certain percentage of the population, and we're going to have parents who send their children to school who feel the same way.
Right.
So we've got some figuring out to do. We've got to respect everybody's rights. I believe that. That's why we're a free nation.
That's right.
But my rights should not infringe upon yours.
Right, and vice versa.
And vice versa.
Right.
So
we've got to come up with some type of collective
we've got
agreement.
to come up with something. And again, until we get there and start doing it, a good solution to that is until we start experiencing it and see how it's really going to unfold. I don't think that you can come up with. You can talk theory all you want to.
And what about like extra after school curriculums? The sports and everything.
Well, our sports, Governor Lee said we're playing football in Tennessee.
Go Vols.
We're playing football in Tennessee. Our sports are going. Our fall sports are going. A lot of nervousness about that, especially when they go out of county and stuff. I'm just glad I'm not the one who has to make that decision.
Right. Understood.
Yeah.
Understood. Well, I'll tell you what. I mean, here it is. You got the stockpile days. Okay, Okay, so you get a certain amount of days, right? Say we get a bad winter.
Yeah.
What happens?
Yeah. Well, okay, we'll just talk about it from that angle.
Yeah, what is a stockpile
Okay,
day?
what is a stockpile day? There's a law, Tennessee, it's in the 49th statute that says that the minimum length of a school day is 6.5 hours.
Uh-huh.
And school systems that go over that 30 minutes can stockpile up to 13 days. And every school system I know does that. There is a big question of whether teachers can stockpile days or not, and students. And that's a battle I'll fight after this COVID stuff goes. But a student certainly cannot without me being there. And so we've got a big difference in our interpretation of the law. But a stockpile day is those 30 minutes a day that you work above and beyond what the state minimum is.
Yeah.
And we all do it. We go 7.5 hours a day, 30 minutes for lunch.
Yeah.
And then
yeah.
you've got a 30-minute extra. So what Clarksville, Montgomery County did was use the stockpile days, regardless of how you wish to define them. There's still stockpile days in the calendar that can be used. So teachers can get their $200-day contract in. Because that's also a state law. Teachers' contracts are 200 days, and it has it broken down into PD, instructional days and things like that. So we would not have to go to school in June.
Are they allowed to teach from home?
Yes and no.
Okay.
It's all a case by case scenario. It depends on what the scenario is. In general, no. We're all going to be in the building.
Right.
But if we have like an unbelievably hard winter, because we are setting up this remote learning and we're doing training now, and we probably won't have all the bugs worked out, but hopefully it won't snow until January.
Hopefully it doesn't snow. Maybe a flurry.
No,
I don't
Joe,
want the flurry.
We've got to have some snow. We have not had legitimate snow in years.
All right, we'll settle on a white Christmas. Right.
Okay, white Christmas.
Which, by the way, how does vacations work?
With
the school year, same vacation breaks.
Same vacation breaks, and that's one reason they opted to do the 14, so it wouldn't interrupt, because people make plans a year in advance.
Absolutely.
The only difference is we usually get the Wednesday off before Thanksgiving, and this year it's being moved to August the 27th to ensure that we were getting all our days in without students before Governor Lee's order. Governor Lee's order was August the 29th.
Yeah.
And then that, and so we're off August the 28th. But with the stockpile days, we can teach at home. If it's really bad weather, we will have we'll do remote learning that day,
right.
And so it won't affect. Okay, you've got to add days onto the. Yeah, it's going to be tough. This is going to be
and then like
a real learning curve year.
Enforcing like tardiness, like someone logs on late. You know what I mean? Yeah. Oh, you're late again, Joey.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Damn.
I'm gonna call your mom. Well, your mom is right there.
God. Put your mom on.
Get her on this thing.
God. Could you imagine? Well, I'll tell you what. I mean, are you excited? Are you excited to get back into a steady schedule?
I want to get back into a steady schedule. I think we all do. I don't think any of us want to be in a position where we're going to be in a higher risk for getting sick. And I don't think that. I think most people understand why teachers are. Adamant is not the word, but we're making the stands that we do. It's not like I'm working in a store somewhere and you're walking by me, or I'm checking out, These are classrooms full of students that you are around longer than 10 minutes of time, so it puts us in a different situation. I want to be at work. I want to be at work with all of my kids. every teacher does. I also don't want to be at work for 2 days and then be sent home for up to 24 days.
Friggin' 14.
But,
and
you know,
using friggin' your right. I
right.
hear you.
So
What a juggling act.
it is a juggling act, and it's a no-win situation, regardless of the decisions that are going to be made. It is a no-win situation.
I'll tell you what, it's interesting times. I mean, it was we would go to school back in the day, play our sports, come home, do our homework, then maybe shower. No, not maybe shower. I would shower.
Yeah,
okay?
you'd have to after
then
sports practice.
Boom, and then just do it all over again.
Yep.
Now it's a whole different schedule.
It's a whole different thing. I was on a call last night with some folks that I graduated with that we were discussing the vouchers and in public school, and there was a lot of brought up about the home and how things have changed and evolved and how we're having to handle it these days.
Well, we better figure it out soon, because one of my favorite things to do was sneaking around the bleachers and kissing girls. Okay, yeah, you're
That's
missing
not going to
out.
happen virtually.
You're missing out. Yeah, I've tried. My screen's all messed up. It's terrible.
Well, somebody will make one of those little Google things.
Oh my God.
Like they've got the virtual classrooms and the little
Yeah.
bits. Somebody will make that soon, and you'll be able to sneak behind
my
the bleachers. I can see that coming now.
Put a cardboard cutout of yourself.
Yeah. The whole school experience virtually.
I love it.
Yeah.
Constance Brown, president of the Clarksville Montgomery County Education Association. Appreciate your time and I appreciate your information. I know you're busy people, but this is a conversation people are having, and they're having questions, and hopefully you've been able to answer some of them here today.
Well, I thank you for having me here. I am available. Constance Brown on Facebook, Clarksville Montgomery County Education Association. We're here. We serve educators. We would love for you to be a member. Strong voices when there are a lot of them, and we need to band together today.
That's what's up. Thanks, Constance.
Thanks, Joe.
Again, you got any questions or anything, go take a look at the Clarksville Montgomery County Education Association Facebook page. Click like, all right. Send a message, put some comments in there. Don't forget to share this on your timeline. If you got someone that needs this information, tag them. And yeah, we'll keep continuing the spread of information.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, we'll do tomorrow. We'll be back to our regular programming where I'm making innuendo jokes, and I had to wear sleeves today, Constance. Okay.
Had to dress up today
I
for
wore
the school
sleeves for
teacher.
you. All right, my friends, Joe Padula, the Joe Padula Show. Absolutely.
This is Lawyer Wayne. Check me out at lawyerwayne.com and check me out on TikTok at Lawyer Wayne. You're listening to The Joe Padula Show. Absolutely.